Welcome back to another episode of Black Metal Promo. Today we talk about black metal band 1349. Before starting, for those of you who are new to this channel, we have been covering black metal bands' history and lyrics. Therefore, if you are into black metal, please like this video and subscribe to our Black Metal Promo. (1349) is a Norwegian black metal band from Oslo, Norway, formed in 1997. The band's name is a reference to the year the Black Death reached Norway. The Black Death, also known as the Pestilence, the Great Mortality, or simply, the Plague, was a bubonic plague pandemic occurring in Afro-Eurasia from 1346 to 1353. It is the most fatal pandemic recorded in human history, causing the death of 75 to 200 million people in Eurasia and North Africa, peaking in Europe from 1347 to 1351. The band's music is purposely similar in style and construction to that of bands from the second wave of Norwegian black metal of the early 1990s, and does not incorporate synthesizers. As a result, 1349 have been compared to the early incarnations of Enslaved, Emperor, Burzum, Gorgoroth, Darkthrone, Immortal, and Mayhem, being described as much heavier than most other black metal bands. The band has so far rejected the more commercial style of black metal exhibited by some bands. The band's lyrical themes are anti-religion, apocalypse, and darkness. Currently, the band is signed to Seasons of Mist. 1349 was formed by several former members of Alvheim band, with Ravn, vocals, drums, Tejulv, guitars, and Seedman, bass, as well as Balforai, guitars, and drummer Frost. Liberation is the first studio album by the band. It was released through Candlelight Records, on February 15, 2003. On this album, the band also covered Mayhem's songs Buried by Time and Dust. The guitars on this album are heavily distorted, and an annoying fuzzy sound is present during the entire album. If you can hear past the overused distortion, you can make out the riffs the band is playing, which are actually quite good, and would sound much better if the distortion wasn't used so much. Riders of the Apocalypse boasts a catchy and memorable guitar riff, and the guitars on Pitch Black and throughout the album are equally good. At certain times the band also slows down and plays a more melodic, traditional black metal type sound. An example of this is the opening to Satanic Propaganda, which has a very dark acoustic melody to it. Death March, the album's only instrumental, also has this type of feeling. Ravn is among my favorite black metal vocalists. What he lacks in variation of his tone, he makes up for with a sheer viciousness that perfectly expresses his dark hatred for anything Christian and makes the music sound much more evil. An explosion of blast beats follows, Frost's excellent sounding drum kit, which sounds so organic and powerful. Even though the production is fair to all instruments, the guitars serve as an excuse for Frost to go completely apeshit on the songs. The guitarists are adept at churning out typical, but very good and catchy riffs. I really like Liberation's ending, which sets up nicely for 1349's brilliant cover of Mayhem's Buried by Time and Dust. While DMDS certainly has that charm, I would prefer 1349's cover if only for Attila, the King of Mayhem. The band proves its chops, playing a song that is already painfully fast even faster. On this debut album lineup are Archaon, guitar; Tejulv, guitar; Frost, drums; Seedman, bass; Ravn, vocals. And tracks on this album are Manifest, I Breathe Spears, Riders of the Apocalypse, Death March, Pitch Black, Satanic Propaganda, Legion, Evil Oath, Buried by Time and Dust, Mayhem covers. In 2004 band released their second album Beyond the Apocalypse, through Candlelight Records. Beyond the Apocalypse shows the apex of the band before the highly revered Hellfire. This band has slowly been growing in popularity, and they damn well deserve it. They pretty much put Norway back on the map for merciless, blistering black metal. With all of the older bands either treading water or doing something totally new, 1349 represent a hearkening to the razor-sharp, grim, blasting sort of BM that upholds the standards of the genre. Not only do they forcefully put this type of metal out into the open, but they do it with passion and vigor. Just look at the album artwork, fuck. Unbelievable, I just love it. Initially, Ravn may appear to be a very typical black metal vocalist, raspy, raging, and gravelly. Further listening reveals he's his own entity. The lyrics and Ravn's vocal patterns combine to create the pitch-black atmosphere band create. Singer of Strange Songs has some truly passionate screams, and the ferocity behind the title track will certainly show you who's boss. The opening track, Chasing Dragons, has lots of twists and turns and offers that humanity is no longer an issue. The drumming controls pace and intensity, and the guitars fill in the spaces and add layer upon layer, offering some memorable riffs along the way. Track on this album are 1. Chasing Dragons, 2. Beyond the Apocalypse, 3. Iwasian, 4. Necronatal Enheten, 5. Perished in Pain, 6. Singer of Strange Songs, 7. Blood is the Mortar, 8. Internal Winter, 9. The Blade. On May 24, 2005, band released their third full-length studio album, Hellfire, through Candlelight Records. This album is one of my personal favorite album. If you want true Norwegian black metal, then this is perfect. Sophisticated, grinding guitar, Frost's signature blast beats. The songs from the Deeps and Nathakana refer to stories by H.P. Lovecraft. I Am Abomination stands as one of the best tracks on this album, if you can actually put them in some order of preference, and is the emblem of viciousness, evil made sound. The rest of the album is basically an escalation of fury, riff-wise and drum-wise, till it reaches one of its highest climatic points, with my favorite, Celestial Deconstruction. Awesome riffs, fast and slow, brutal and highly atmospheric, were conceived by guitarist Archaon. A music video was produced for the track Sculptor of Flesh. The video, directed by Judd Tilliard, alternates between footage of the band performing the song in Norway and clips of surgery filmed in Australia. The closing track of the album, Hellfire, was intentionally recorded at 13:49 in length to spell out the band name, together with the lyrical concept. Track on this album are I Am Abomination, Nathakana, Sculptor of Flesh, Celestial Deconstruction, To Rottendam, From the Deeps, Slaves to Slaughter, Hellfire. 1349 tours on a regular basis. The band's live shows often begin with Frost and guitarist Archaon breathing fire. In 2006, band toured the US with Celtic Frost. Ravn also appeared on the Celtic Frost album Monotheist, 2006, performing guest vocals on the CD Digipack bonus track, Temple of Depression. In 2007, during the French Hellfest festival, 1349 was slated to play during the day, but asked to reschedule their appearance to play in the dark instead. During band appearance at the Oslo Inferno Metal Festival in March 2008, the band was joined on stage by Celtic Frost frontman Tom Gabriel Fisher, for a rendition of the Celtic Frost song, The Usurper. In September 2008, band toured with Carcass, Suffocation, Aborted and Rotten Sound on the Exhume to Consume tour. In 2009, band released their fourth studio album Revelations of the Black Flame, through Candlelight Records. The studio sessions took place during December 2008 in a woodland studio in Boverbru, a village in the Toten region of Norway. Band mixed the album in January 2009. The album was co-mixed by Tom Gabriel Fisher, Tom G. Warrior. This marked the first and only experimental album by the band, as they almost completely abandoned their earlier old-school black metal style, instead making use of irregular song structures and more progressive ideas. The album also contains a variety of dark ambient compositions spread throughout. After this release, the band would return to their previous, more straightforward style. After experiencing 1349's previous album Hellfire, I was expecting Revelations of the Black Flame to be another blast from hell, that would send waves across the galaxy at a speed of 1000 miles per hour. For me, album is not good or bad, it's okay. Nevertheless, instead of the incessant speed and brutality of said albums, I am delighted to have been able to close the triumvirate with an atmospheric black metal album, slow, plodding and overusing the same riff for 4 minutes. Lots of keyboards with that gloomy atmospheric noise with some simple drum beat and an occasional cool guitar part. Not so much double kicks, blasting, and screaming black metal vocals. If you like the direction of Enslaved with a slower approach, then you might enjoy this. But if you are like me and like early 1990 black metal, then you will be disappointed as well. Good sound though, and the one song with those speed elements is pretty cool. But that's only Misanthropy's song. Let's hope this is not a permanent direction for this band. Tracks on this album are 1 Invocation, 2 Serpentine Sibilance, 3 Horns, 4 Maggot Fetus, Teeth Like Thorns, 5 Misanthropy, 6 Uncreation, 7 Set the Controls for the Heart of the Sun, Pink Floyd cover, 8 Solitude, 9 At the Gate. At the beginning of 2010 the band signed a contract with Indie Recordings for the release of its 5th album in Europe, with Prosthetic Records distributing the album in North America. Band released its 5th album, Demo Noir, on April 26, 2010. The album shows a return to band's earlier sound, before Revelations of the Black Flame, while continuing the lo-fi production and ambient sensibilities of Revelations. This album consists 13 tracks with the odd-numbered various intros, outros, ambient noises, with the even-numbered being actual 1349 songs. Although it is a great album, very dark and evil music, old production, cold and noisy, which is good aspect for the black metal fan. Track Atomic Chapel. It is a breathtaking, the vocals are well ranged and the riffs change a lot, there are many hooks, and Frost drumming is awesome. The lyrics are brilliant and it even ends with a chant from the book of the Dead, Necronomicon. I can't say enough about how epic that song is, but the second best is Psalm 7:77 has some really cool riffs and vocals just plain evil. Frost chalks up one of his best performances on this album. Ravn's vocals are inspired and hate-filled and just amazing as well. Demo Noir is the best 1349 album for me, followed by the very witty Beyond the Apocalypse, and similarly innovative and probably just as misunderstood in the future as the masterpiece Rebel Extravaganza, by Satyricon. The comparison not because Frost happens to be a drummer in both bands. Tunnel of Set I immediately shows what the 7 tunnel pieces are there. They are ambient-like transitions to the songs, and the last track Tunnel 7 even ends the album. Track on this album are 1 Tunnels of Set I, 2 Atomic Chapel, 3 Tunnel 2, 4 When I Was Flesh, 5 Tunnel 3, 6 Psalm 7:77, 7 Tunnel 4, 8 Pandemonium War Bells, 9 Tunnel V, 10 The Devil of the Deserts, 11 Tunnel 6, 12 Demo Noir, 13 Tunnel 7. In October 2013, the band began recording their 6th studio album called Massive Cauldron of Chaos. On December 10, the band announced that the record was finished, and it was released on September 29, 2014, via Indie Recording. This album retains all the qualities that makes black metal what it is: grim, lo-fi, and overall just a great album. 1349 managed to create an album that combines ferocity, inspiration, craftsmanship, good songwriter, and above all atmosphere. Musically, What they are offered on this album is tasteful black metal with some death and thrash influences in the guitar work, blended in an eerie ambience. Slaves was put out on a video and is representative for the album, both in its quality as in its sound. It's almost like the caves where Slaves was filmed served as recording studio for the rest of the album. The riffs are truly excellent, balancing back and forth between traditional tremolo and grim melodies. Although thrash and staccato riffing rarely is used within the BM genre to create atmosphere, here the album sound is baptized in darkness and cold. And the production is not too clear though but very audible. Frost delivers quality as well, however, credit goes to Ravn, who delivers his best vocals ever, perhaps thanks to a better mix. There's some successful experimentation with the vocals, Slaves, God's Lair, in support of the dark atmosphere. As I stated before, songwriter stands out. Apart from the short golem, every track showcases layered dynamics, surprising breaks, and a lot of strong build-ups, resulting in sometimes epic parts. Check out Postmortem as from 322. Every song has its highlight moments, there really is no filler material present. Track on this album are 1 Cauldron, 2 Slaves, 3 Exorcism, 4 Postmortem, 5 Manjals, 6 Golem, 7 Chained, 8 Untitled, Instrumental, Digipack bonus track, 9 God's Lair, 10 The Heretic, Possessed cover, Digipack bonus track. In February 2017, it was announced that 1,349 have now signed to Season of Mist, and are now said to be in the process of writing their 7th studio album, which is set to be released in 2019. The first new single, Dodd Scamp, was released digitally on January 14, 2019. On July 31, 2019, it was revealed that the band's 7th studio album would be titled The Infernal Pathway. It was released on October 18, 2019. The track Through Eyes of Stone is sinuous and streamlined in both form and function, featuring some seriously sharp and savage riffs, as well as some grimly grandiose melodic embellishments, all driven by Frost's. The album opens in full power with Abysso's Antithesis, showing that they are still the leaders of the post-90 Norwegian black metal scene. With strong blackened thrash elements, the song quickly grabs the listener into a twist of evilness worthy of the blasphemous genre. The album as a whole, in fact, is stacked with a thrash vibe to the point that I would call it a black and thrash album instead of a pure Norwegian black record. Notably in songs like Instrumental's Tunnel of Set 8, 9, and X, and the thunderous Towers Upon Towers. The mystical approach, combined with the already mentioned thrashier elements and some pure, raw black metal, is an interesting mix that works well with the overall atmosphere. There is no doubt that guitarist Archaon has conjured up an overwhelming blizzard of memorable riffs on this album. With songs like Abysso's Antithesis and Through Eyes of Stone, perfectly balanced between arcane dissonance, and the propulsion of thrash and early death metal, these songs are simultaneously raw, chaotic, and wild, as well as muscular, precise, and epic. Track on this album are 1 Abysso's Antithesis, 2 Through Eyes of Stone, 3 Tunnel of Set 8, 4 Enter Cold Void Dreaming, 5 Towers Upon Towers, 6 Tunnel of Set 9, 7 Deeper Still, 8 Striding the Chasm, 9 Dodd Scamp, 10 Tunnel of Set X, 11 Stand Tall in Fire. So this is the complete discography of band 1349. I hope you enjoy my videos and subscribe to the Black Metal promo if you like them. Long live Black Metal!